Hi everyone, welcome to Competitive Pharmacy. Today we are going to discuss 10 MCQ from the chapter Rheology, subject Pharmaceutics. First question, which of the following is an example for Newtonian fluid? Option A, water. Option B, chloroform. Option C, castor oil. Option D, ethyl alcohol. Option E, all the above. So the right choice of this question is option E, all the above. So Newtonian fluid includes water, chloroform, castor oil, ethyl alcohol. Next question. Sodium alginate in water is an example for option A, Newtonian fluid, option B, pseudoplastic fluid, option C, dilatant fluid, option D, none of these. Sodium alginate in water is an example for pseudoplastic fluid. Other examples for pseudoplastic material is tragacanth in water, sodium alginate in water that we discussed, methyl cellulose in water, sodium carboxy methyl cellulose in water. So we have seen Newtonian. First question, we have seen examples of Newtonian fluids are water, castor oil, ethyl alcohol, etc. Isn't it? So when we plot a graph between shear stress in x-axis, shear stress is F, and rate of shear in y-axis, G, rate of we get a straight line for Newtonian fluid. Okay, that means for Newtonian fluid, we get a straight line. That is, if proportional to G, in case of Newtonian fluid, F is equal to eta G. We can write this as F raised to N is equal to eta G, eta dash G. So when N is equal to 1, that is Newtonian fluid. So F is eta G for Newtonian fluid. Next question. For pseudoplastic material, the value of N, option A equal to unity, option B always greater than unity, option C is always lesser than unity, option D none of these. We have seen that for Newtonian fluid, value of N is 1. But for pseudoplastic material, the value of N is always greater than unity. So pseudoplastic rheogram curve is described by exponential formula f raised to n is equal to eta g, where n is the number given to the exponent and eta dash is the viscosity coefficient. When n is equal to 1, flow is Newtonian. When n is greater than n, 1, flow is pseudoplastic. Next question. Liquid paraffin exhibit option A, plastic flow, option B, Newtonian flow, option C, pseudoplastic flow, option D, dilatant flow. So liquid paraffin exhibit pseudoplastic flow. Next question. Type of flow behavior exhibited by flocculated suspension. Option A, plastic flow, option B, pseudoplastic flow, option C, Newtonian flow, option D, dilatant flow. So flocculated suspension exhibit plastic flow. So the flocculated particles in concentrated suspension, ointments and paste and gels. These are at rest flocculated suspension, that are floccules. They are aggregation of particles with the interparticle contacts. So at rest they will be in aggregate particle are there. So when we applied some force, when we applied some stress, what will happen? Stress break the interparticle contact so that particle behave individually. So at rest they will be formed floccules at rest. When sufficient energy is, once this yield value is attained, when the energy supplied is equal to, the energy we supplied externally is equal to yield value, it break the interparticle contact so that the particle behave individually. Then further increase in stress, flow of that material occur. So in case of flocculated suspension, we have formulated suspensions with the floccules. For better stability, we are calculating that. When it is kept in rest, they will be in aggregate particles. So when we produce a shake means what? A force, that force, when it reaches the yield value, it will break the interparticle contacts. So further increase in stress will lead to the material or the suspension to be flow. So this flocculated part, this types of material is known as plastic material. So flocculated particle is a type of plastic flow. Shows a plastic flow type. This is for this yield. So when we plot a graph between F and G, first it will not flow like a Newtonian flow. So after a particular point that is known as yield value, it will flow like a normal Newtonian fluid, like just like castor oil, water or ethyl alcohol, it will flow like this. So after attaining this yield value only, they will start to flow. Hope you clear this portion. I'm moving to next question. Which of the following flow behavior is known as shear thinning system? So option A, plastic flow. Option B, pseudoplastic flow. Option C, Newtonian flow. Option D, dilatant flow. So we have seen Newtonian flow, plastic flow, shear thinning system. Plastic flow, you know, flocculated suspensions show. For plastic flow, flocculated suspensions show plastic flow. So pseudoplastic flow is otherwise known as shear thinning system. That means whenever the stress is applied to the system, viscosity decreases. Shear thinning system, viscosity get reduced. Viscosity get reduced. That is known as pseudoplastic flow or shear thinning system. So explanation. Under normal storage condition, in pseudoplastic system, long chain molecule of the polymers are randomly arranged in dispersion. When you apply stress, the molecule begin to arrange their longer axis in the direction of force we applied. So what will happen? This stress induced orientation that reduces the internal resistance of the material. So reduce the internal resistance of the material means what? Viscosity get decreased. So viscosity is decreasing. So it is known as shear thinning system. So next question. Which of the flow behavior is known as shear thickening system? Option A, plastic flow. Option B, pseudoplastic flow. Option C, Newtonian flow. Option D, dilatant flow. We have seen plastic flow for flocculated suspension, right? So pseudoplastic flow is otherwise known as shear thinning system. Newtonian flow, we have seen that water, castor oil, ethyl alcohol, these are Newtonian flow. So shear thickening substance is dilatant flow. Dilatant flow is shear thickening. So when for this system, when a shear thickening system, when a shear is applied to this system, that cause increase in viscosity. For example, when you prepare mayonnaise in kitchen, what will happen? You are applying some stress. So you are turning the mixer grinder or the equipment used for making that mayonnaise. What you have to you are giving some amount of stress to that system. So that will increase that viscosity of the system. That is known as shear thickening. Dilatant flow. Dilatant flow system is known as shear thickening system. So when increase the rate of shear, it enhances resistance to flow. That means viscosity get increasing. Okay. So these systems increase their volume and hence they are known as dilatant system, also known as shear thickening system. So when the stress is removed, the system will return to its initial state of fluidity, obviously. Next question. The type of flow behavior exhibited by deflocculated suspension. We have seen flocculated suspension is plastic flow, right? So this question is asking about the behavior of deflocculated suspension. Option A, plastic flow. Option B, pseudoplastic flow. Option C, Newtonian flow. Option D, dilatant flow. The correct answer is dilatant flow. Deflocculated suspensions, dilatant flow. So increase in stress, increase in void volume, and the amount of vehicle is insufficient to fill the void place. Then the particles are not lubricated, therefore develop resistance to flow. Increase in viscosity, paste-like consistency. That is for deflocculated suspension is dilatant flow, shear thickening system. Next question. Flow behavior of a rectal ointment should be ideally. Flow behavior of a rectal ointment should be ideally option A, plastic, option B, pseudoplastic, option C, dilatant, option D, Newtonian. So the rectal ointment, as it is in that ointment tube, it should be retained that tube. When extruded and then applied to rectal, it should become some plastic show behavior. Okay, when at rest, when a sufficient energy is applied, sufficient stress is applied, here the stress is the temperature of our body at 32 degrees Celsius. This solid nature, this semi-solid nature of this rectal ointment converted to Newtonian fluid at 32 degrees Celsius. So the flow behavior of a rectal ointment should be ideally plastic. Okay, next question. Flow behavior of an antifungal ointment should be option A, plastic flow, option B, pseudoplastic, option C, Newtonian flow, option D, dilatant. So antifungal ointment we have to apply to the skin with some stress like rubbing and all. So it should behave like a shear thinning system. So correct answer is pseudoplastic. When stress is applied, the molecule arranged in a linear fashion so that this viscosity should be decreased. So pseudoplastic flow should be the ideal flow behavior of an antifungal ointment. Next question. Greater the thixotropy, the dash is the physical stability of suspension. Option A higher, option B lower, option C no influence, option D first it became higher, then it lower. So greater the thixotropy, the higher is the physical stability of suspension. Shear thinning system. So this is known as thixotropy. When tear shimning system, that means pseudoplastic system, when agitated and kept aside, are expected to return its original state of fluidity. Okay, after it's converted to shear thinning, then it converted to its original state of fluidity when we kept it aside for a certain period. So it takes longer time to recover compared to the time taken for agitation. This behavior is known as thixotropy. So thixotropy is defined as an isothermal and comparatively slow recovery on standing of a material of consistency lost through shearing. That means greater the thixotropy means greater, the higher will be the physical stability. So physical stability of a suspension so one of the criteria is the greater the it should be greater thixotropic material. So hope you clear this portion. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe.